Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here. It's so great to see you. I'm looking at comments coming in already. So we've got a great hour to spend together. And I just want to line up a couple of things as we get started and as people are coming in. Number one, the subject of today's training is to how to supercharge your podcast, if you have a podcast, and if you don't have a podcast, how to use video and live video to basically create a video podcast. So supercharge your podcast with video. And I'd love to see in the comments, if you already have a podcast, say so. And what do you call it? What's it called? I have two shows that I'm producing right now. One of them is called Face the Camera, which goes live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I've just this week, as of like tomorrow, I am streaming my very first episode of my new show, which is called Live Stream Stories. So these are the two shows that I am currently producing. And I can see myself on YouTube. It's so great. So I'm going to give you a view of like my scene here. There we are. This is more of the scene. And you can see that I've got a switcher here, and I've got a microphone, and I've got a laptop. And basically that's it. These are my three tools that I'm using. And I don't even, basically, this is just a way to capture the video from my camera. And because I have a switcher, I can go back and forth between camera number 1 and camera number 2. So I want to basically show you how simple this is to do. That's the thing. And I want to also talk about why would you want to do this in the first place? Like if you're already doing a podcast, or if you're just thinking about doing a podcast, why not just stick to audio? Why not just stay there? And so I want to open your eyes to what the opportunity is that we have for using video at this moment in time, and how to do it without it being a huge, big daunting task, without it being very expensive, without you having to spend more time. If you're already doing a podcast, then you're already doing the content. So it's a matter of adding video and then taking advantage of all the good stuff that video will bring to your effort in making this content that you're making. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to talk about. And let's just see. Oh my gosh, so many people here. So here from Toronto, and all the way from Sacramento, Lewis. Hey, Lewis. And Trade Baby Blues from Boston. All right. So my hometown. I'm in Boston too. So great to see you here. Diana from Phoenix. Excellent. And let's see, who else have we got here? Interesting name. So you guys are tuning in YouTube. So I'm doing this on YouTube because I can do this onto an unlisted video on YouTube. And that way only you guys can see this particular stream. And I just want you to know that after this is over, this will be available. This same link, this location, this video will still be here. So if you want to come back and go over any of this stuff in the future, you'll be able to come back to this video and watch it again. So there's a replay, and the replay is going to be available, and so on. So let me switch back over to this camera. This is my, and just to give you a little clue here, among the pieces of gear I'm going to share is that, first of all, you don't need a fancy camera. You can just use your laptop to do the video. So you don't need to feel like, oh, I need to go out and buy a whole bunch of extra stuff. You can start doing video just with your webcam, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. And I also have these two cameras. This is one camera that is this happens to be a Panasonic camera, and the other one here is a little Sony camera, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about those later. And let me just go over sort of some of the agenda. The idea here is that you want to take all your marketing content, all the content marketing that you're doing, and all the social media content posting that you're doing, all of that stuff. And I know that, like, if you're on Instagram, and maybe you're on YouTube, and maybe you're on LinkedIn, and maybe you're on Facebook, and it can really take a lot of time to try and establish an online presence in all of these locations. So the main thing that I want to get across today is how you can simply create your one time a week, a long form piece of content, which is your podcast, and do it live, do it as a live video stream. And from that one piece of content, you will have created all of the social media posts all over all the different platforms. And you can be showing up on all those different platforms on a daily basis. And the only time that it takes you to do this is the time it takes to actually create your show and to go live and to talk for half an hour or an hour or however long your episode is. So that's the thing that I want to share with you today. I find it super exciting. And when I see people out there, like probably the best known podcaster, social media star at this moment in time is Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary, he literally has an entourage following him around, and these guys with video cameras shooting him no matter what he does, whether he's speaking, whether he's having a meeting, whether he's walking down the hall, whatever he does, if he's riding in an Uber, he has somebody recording that and documenting that activity. And then they take all of that and they break it into little clips and they turn it into podcast episodes and they repurpose it. And so when you go online, it doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, you're going to see every day, multiple times a day, little short videos that Gary has done. And it's all based on this long form content that he creates. And of course, he goes to an extreme. He lives literally creating stuff all day long. And you don't have to do that. You can do one episode, let's say half an hour, one time a week. And from that one episode, you can now recreate a whole bunch of short clips, short little bits of content, and have them repurposed and scheduled to go out onto your social media channels again and again and again. And you're basically building this archive, and you're building your reach, and you're going to be seen by lots more people. And if one of your goals is to grow the audience for your podcast, then this is a great way to do it. But I'm going to talk about growing your audience. I'm going to talk about monetizing all of this. And I'm going to show you how easy it is, like how you can do this very, very simply. So that's our agenda. And I'm just looking at the numbers. Okay, cool. We have 28 people who are live, at least in terms of the number that I see here. That's a really good number of people. And right, Cindy is here, thinking of the same. Oh my gosh, look at this. Lewis says he's completed 59 episodes, 100 ways to better health. Oh, that's cool. Great topic. You've got a great audience. And one of the things that actually brings up, another reason for doing this in this moment in time, given that we're mostly, and some of us are completely in lockdown, quarantine, social distance mode, we can no longer actually go out into the world and do any of the kind of networking, or we can't go to conferences, we can't host those kinds of gatherings, we can't attend those kinds of gatherings, we can't be a speaker at in-person gatherings. So this method of using podcasting, and particular video podcasting, is one of the only ways that you can be showing up and actually have people see you and feel like they're getting to know you in the same way that they would see you and get to know you if you were a speaker on a stage, or if you were a keynote speaker at a conference. So we all have the opportunity to turn ourselves into our own media company and to create basically a series of live events that people will look forward to attending and will come back again and again because we're giving them value and we're helping them solve the problem that they have to solve. And when you do this well, more and more people will start showing up, more and more people will tell their friends, and you'll have an audience that is now becoming dedicated to tuning into your programming. And if you're doing this on video and it turns out that a lot of your audience prefers to listen to the audio, that's totally great. The video is basically the audience building engine. And once people discover you and they prefer to, wash the dishes or drive their car while they're listening, then they can go over to your podcast and listen in. So you're creating sort of these multiple channels where you're basically meeting people where they are online at their social media platform of their choice. And once they meet you, they can pick, this is the way that I would like to consume this content. And they can choose that and start lining up and going, and consuming your content in their favorite way. So, cool. Awesome. So I'm just checking out more comments here. I'm looking over here. Right. So, all right. So I'm just glancing at my notes here. Let's just talk about for a moment what are the kind of issues that I know you may be having if you're already a podcaster or if you're simply been posting on social media. And the problem that I see, and most of the people that I end up working with, when they come to me, is that they're doing a lot of work, but they're not actually getting the traction that they're looking for. So maybe you're podcasting week after week after week, and you're putting it out onto, iTunes and Spotify and all the different podcast channels. But those channels do not really help you promote your podcast. Your listing is probably relatively buried in the myriad of, hundreds of thousands of podcasts that are in the listing. And so it's very hard for people to find you through that listing. The best way for people to find you is either word of mouth or through some form of social media. And if you're using social media to promote yourself, that can be problematic too, in that you're posting. I do my Twitter posts, and then I do my Facebook posts, and then I do my LinkedIn posts. And it may be that you're not getting a lot of traction and you're just not getting the response you were hoping for. And there's a lot of reasons of why that might be, but part of the reason is that if you're not doing it in the context of a narrative arc, if you're not doing it in the context of taking people on a journey, if you're not doing it in the context of elevating your content to actually being a series or a serial or an actual show, and even better, if you're elevating it to actually a live experience where people can come, just like you guys are coming here right now, and we're able to interact with one another, and I can say things to you, you can comment back to me, we can have more of a discussion. This live experience is way beyond the normal, just listening experience on a podcast, and it's way beyond the normal post experience when somebody posts, even if it's a video. People post stuff and it's one way. And so the old school way of broadcasting has basically infected all of social media. And the opportunity that we have that I see right now is that we've got live video and we can have a more interactive experience for the people that we're wanting to serve. And by doing it in this live way, we can, go 2 or 3 steps beyond what the normal social media experience is for people. And if you get them to, like, if you're saying things that really matter to your audience and you're talking to people who really care about the same things that you care about, and you're giving them an experience of getting a little bit closer to the thing that they're looking for, well, this is great. This is when you start really winning the game. So this is I'm just trying to paint the vision of why we would want to do this. And right. I just want to point out, and this will be the last thing before I now start getting into the actual details of like, well, how do we do this? And there are people who are using video now, but only of all the podcasters out there, probably only about 1%, this is a really small number, are using video effectively. And an even smaller number are using live video. They're actually producing a live experience that is truly engaging. And this is the space that you have the opportunity to move into right now, which I just think is the biggest opportunity that is before us. Because number one, it doesn't cost anything. Like, you can basically set yourself up to do this for free. Like, you won't necessarily have to buy anything in particularly expensive. And even if you do add a few little pieces of gear for, you know, a very modest budget, maybe between $100 to $200, you can really set yourself up to produce a very professional looking video podcast, live video series, and you will stand out. Like, you will stand out in your field. So if you're doing a podcast that's all about health, and you are the one who's creating a live video show for the people who you're wanting to serve, this is going to be a very outstanding thing for you to do. So there we go. Now I'm just going to check the comments. Right, Cindy says, I like this new way with live connection with everyone. This is so good. Thanks, Cindy. Very helpful. And I'm glad to catch this before you officially launch. Right. Well, I'm really curious to see when you're officially launching. Let's see. KT outside. That's interesting. So she says, super useful. Thank you for offering this. All of my content is in the world of stand-up paddleboarding. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. You know, you could do, do you know that you can go live with a GoPro? Like, you can. And you could be out like literally anywhere, and you could be using the GoPro as a, you know, a point of view paddler, and you could have another person on another paddleboard with another GoPro aimed at you, and oh man, way cool. That would be so great. All right, so what else have we got here? Raymond says, I want to learn Facebook video to taking audio for use of podcasts. Okay, cool. We will cover that. All right. Tracy says, so true. I did get a nice mic and some lighting. Okay, well, you are probably all set. That's probably all you need. So let's just dive in here for a second here. I'm going down to tools. All right. So here's the thing. One of the tools that will help you greatly, and I'm going to switch back to this camera, is that when you are live streaming, here's a big advantage that live streaming brings. And this is sort of like, I want to get to the, okay, we're going to show you how to do live, and I really want to drive home why doing live video is such a good idea. So one, and this is the tool that I'm going to show you right now, is that when you go live, if you use this tool that I'm showing you right now, that I'm actually using right now, you can not only go live to YouTube, but you can also go live to Facebook. In fact, you could go live to your profile page and to your business page and to a private group and to any other page that you have access to on Facebook, all at the same time. And at the same time, you could also go live onto Twitter, and you can go live onto LinkedIn, and you can go live on about 30 other channels. Like if you happen to be a Twitch user, you can go live onto Instagram. I mean, it's kind of phenomenal that you could be doing your podcast, and then you can turn on this tool, and at the same time as you're interviewing your guest or you're doing your solo episode, you are now live streaming, like it's going live to all of these channels. So it, wherever your people are and where they like to be online. So maybe you have a bunch of people who prefer to be on Facebook. And maybe there's another bunch of people in your audience where Instagram is their place of preference, and it depends on the age. Like younger people are on Instagram and older people are on Facebook. That happens to be the truth these days. And then, of course, there's YouTube, which is this vast world of people who are interested in all kinds of stuff that you might be wanting to show them how to do. Like I'm on YouTube right now. And so you can go to all of these places simultaneously. And this is where your podcast, you can sort of get a glimmer of, oh my gosh, my podcast, I've been doing this podcast, and now I can flip it. Like I can actually transfer it as a live video and put it out into all of these multiple channels at the same time. And if you're already doing a podcast, this doesn't take any extra time. You're already doing it. Like this is content that you're creating. So basically flip the switch and now you're streaming to all these different places. So just sort of imagine what that will do for the number of new eyeballs and the number of new listeners and the number of new people who will be discovering the fact that you are producing something every week. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is that if you have a guest who's coming on and you invite a guest who maybe they have a big following on Facebook, or maybe they have a big following on YouTube. Well, that's great, because when you're live with your guest can share the stream to their page, to their channel, to their favorite places. It can be easily shared out, and it can actually be shared during the time that you're live, which is great. So this means that when you go live together with a guest, now you are going to be seen by their people, by their fans, by their audience, which makes your stream and your podcast episode even more powerful. So if week after week, you invite a new guest that has a new audience, every single week, you are going to be in front of a whole new bunch of people that haven't discovered you yet. And of course, if you're inviting the right kind of guests, the people who have a following, which is the people who you want to be serving, great. You're getting in front of exactly the right people. And this is the huge advantage over doing an interview show just as a podcast. When you go, when you're doing an audio podcast, that's cool. You can have the most famous guest, but in the moment that you're recording, the moment that you're creating that episode, no one is paying any attention. And now you have the opportunity to go live with a guest who has a big following. And during the time that you talk with this person, all of the people who follow them will get a notification that, look, they're live, and they'll start watching in that moment. It's very, very powerful. So that's like super, super big reason for setting this up. So what I want to do is I want to show you this great tool. And I just need to share my screen. Let's see, share the screen. And okay, here we go. We are going to pick, here we go, this one. There we go. All right, so you should be seeing my my dashboard. There we go. And if I come back here, I'm going to make this, I guess this works pretty well. So this is a tool called Restream. And if you're interested in this tool, I will actually, here we go. I'll put this right in here, just a second. So I have a special link to give you guys that if you're interested in using this tool, you can sign up, and there's a free level. So you can just come in and do this. The link is right here. It's restream.io/join. And I'm going to put this in the comments right now. So it's HTTPS, and it's restream.io/join/show up. And if you use that link right there, this will give you a credit if you decide to use this tool and you upgrade to the higher level. So what's going on here? The first thing you do when you sign up for this service is you connect Restream to all your social media channels, all your social media pages, wherever you happen to be. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of destinations here. Periscope is basically Twitter. Here's YouTube. Here's Facebook. Here's LinkedIn. Here's my business page on Facebook, all these different things. And so all you have to do is click on Add a Channel, and then you pick one of these locations. And as you can see, look at them all. Like, look at all these places. There's all the things like Daily Motion and Smashcast, a bunch of places I've never even heard of. And then down here, here's groups and public pages, all this kind of stuff. So there's really a lot of choice. And then you just pick one, and then you can connect. I've already connected, so I can't do this for you live, but this will do it. This will connect your channel. It's very simple. You just click it, and the two things connect. And then when you are actually live streaming, you can pick each time whether or not you want to go to live to any one of these places. So I can just turn this on or turn this off just by toggling back and forth here. And then when you want to go live, you can create an event. So if I come in here, and this is basically before my next episode, I can create an event here. And as you can see, here's an event that's actually going, this is the new episode of my new show, the Livestream Stories show, which I've got scheduled in here, that is going to go live tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. And so you can join me live again tomorrow. And so this is all scheduled. And anytime you want to do a new event, you just hit the Create Event button. And I can give the event a title and just say, live stream show. And then I write any description All right. Wow. Sorry, you guys. My internet just completely crapped out. Oh no, technical difficulties. Anyway, we're back on, and it looks like some of you are still here. Cool. Glad you're still here, Cindy, and awesome. Yes, I'm here. All right, so let me continue, and hopefully I won't get interrupted. I was showing you Restream, and let me just try and go back there and do it again. Cindy, you're so great. I love it. Okay, here we go. Sharing screen, and we are going back to the Restream window. There we are, right in here. So yeah, I was talking about scheduling and how you can schedule your thing in advance. And so this is what it looks like when you've scheduled. And then when you're ready to go live, all you do is you enter the live studio. And I just want to emphasize that all you need to do this is have a microphone and your webcam, you know, and if you're doing a podcast, you already have a microphone. So I'm going to turn my video camera off here because I don't want to do duplicate things. And you can invite a guest simply by clicking on this little guest icon and then send them this link, which is unique to your show. And they click on this link and then they show up over here, and then you can bring them on. And you have these different configurations of split screen, or you can do the guest all by themselves, or you can be all by yourself. And then you can also put on these really cool graphic overlays. And this is just a great, great tool. And I don't want to go into a whole bunch of detail in terms of exactly how you use this, but you can come in here. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to figure out. And yeah, Restream. And as I put into the comments, you've got access. Use that link that I gave you, and that will give you a good deal when it comes to, let me come back over here and let me look. Right, where was I? There we go, here. All right, reload that, and we'll come back here. I'm going to stop the share. There we go, we're back. All right. So now you are multicasting. Like you're multicasting to all the different channels that you want to be multicasting, and you're doing your broadcast in this way. And if you're doing an interview show, not only are you going live to all the places where your people are, but you can be going live to all the places where your guests also are. So super great. Now, the next step, this is the third and final step, is that you can now take this content that you've created. Let's say it's a half-hour long live stream, or maybe it's an hour-long live stream, you know, great. So you've done this content. You can repurpose it by taking out short clips, like maybe a 1-minute clip or a 1.5-minute clip of some part of your broadcast. And you can share that with your different social media places. So now you're creating basically social media friendly posts to put up in multiple places. And here's the result of doing this. And I'm going to explain a couple pieces of this puzzle of how you do this really well. So for example, let's say you're interviewing someone, and in the middle of your discussion, they say something that is just this huge brainstorm and big pearl of wisdom. And you go, great. And you take that one little clip and you turn it into a standalone video. And you can turn it into social media friendly type of post where it's square and it has a title above it and it has captions down below. And now you post this on, say, Instagram, or you post this on LinkedIn, or you post this on Facebook. And now you've got this short social media friendly, snackable kind of content that people will watch. And the call to action is go and watch the full episode or go and listen to the full podcast. And so now you're using these kinds of small little posts to basically bring people to the main event, to bring people to this live experience that you are producing for them. So, you can imagine that in one 30-minute episode, you might have 2, 3, maybe even 4 clips that you can pull out that are really intriguing. They're like little teasers for the main event. And these can be posted, on Monday, one of them can go up on Facebook, and on Tuesday, the same thing can go up over on Instagram. And then on Wednesday, you put the same post over onto LinkedIn, and you can move them around this way and have them be seen in multiple locations all during your week. And before you go, oh my gosh, I could never do that. That just sounds like way too much work. Don't worry. There's a way to do this. And I'm going to show you exactly how right now. One of the best ways is to use a service that's called, pretty much appropriately, Repurpose House. And I'm going to share my screen and show you what this looks like. Just give me a second here. And we'll share the screen. And we'll go in here. Get back into Chrome. And we're going to, here we go, here. So here we are at Repurpose House. And this just gives you an idea, some examples of what this looks like. Now, all of these squares that you see are clients that you currently use Repurpose House. And so you can get these really interesting designs and make your video. These are all actual live videos that have been posted here. And you can make it stand out. Like the title of the video is above. The captions as you're speaking are down below. And, so a live event is being turned in here, just a clip. This one is basically it looks like it was a story that somebody did. Here's another post, and again, like big bright colors for the title. And then you've got your captions down below. And you can see how this is very striking and very attention getting, and is a really great way for you to be promoting this show that you're doing. People will see these kinds of posts and they'll see them often. And basically you hire this service, you basically send them, and by sending it, I just upload to the cloud your episode. And what they will do for you is all you have to do is say, okay, I want the clip from 3 minutes and 10 seconds to 4 minutes and 25 seconds. That's all I want. And they'll cut it out and they'll make it look like what's on the screen here. And then they'll put it back in the cloud where you can download it. And if you're smart, you'll have a virtual assistant do this extra work where they download it and then they put it into a social media scheduler so that it gets scheduled to go out on the days that you want. So they can take one of these individual clips and schedule it to go, just like I said, on Monday it goes on to Twitter, and on Tuesday it goes on to Facebook, and on Thursday it goes on to, wherever you want it to go. And you can do this and you can just sort of see how this multiplies over time. And so from doing one live stream and then repurposing the content, you can literally be everywhere. Whoops. You could be everywhere, all over the place on social media where you want to be. And this service, Repurpose House, is a very simple, easy, and very affordable way to make this happen. And you, as the producer, as the director, as the talent for your show, all you need to do is show up and do your episode and make your guests, really serve them and really build relationship with your guests. you can promise each guest. This is like, how do I get big famous guests to be on my show? Well, this is how. You promise that if you come on my show, I am going to give you a set of videos that will look like this. And so, they'll end up with, let's say, 3 videos, and each one, there'll be one that'll be configured for Instagram, and one that'll be configured for Facebook, and one that'll be configured for LinkedIn. And you basically provide them with this set of social media content that then they can use and they can share after your interview has ended. And they're going to be feeling like, this is great. Like, not only did you help promote me in the show, but now you're giving me content that I can use on my social media. It's like free content. And of course, when they do that, they're promoting your show. And they will. It's sort of like, how do you get some famous, well-known person in your field to post and share content that you've created? Well, this is how you do it. And, if you start thinking like, oh my gosh, what will this do to grow the audience for my podcast? Just imagine. So this is how powerful this can be. I mean, it's super, super powerful. And go ahead and tell me, like, what do you guys think of this? Okay, I'm going to stop the share. I can come back to normal. I can see the sun is going down, and I'm losing my light. So that's so interesting. It's getting darker and darker. I need to do something. I just want to adjust my lighting here for just a second. So let's see. I go over here. There we are. How about that? Just a second here. I'm going to adjust this camera. Here we go. All right. I am now back. Yay. Oh, look, it's so much brighter. That only took a second. Right. When you're live and you are a solo producer and you're using natural light like I have right now, and you're on for this length of time, these are the kinds of things that you may have to do. So I'm just glancing at my notes and I'm seeing what else we got here. It looks like I'm getting near the bottom of my list. That's so great. So let me just glance at okay, here's the question. How does Restream compare with StreamYard? Okay, well, the biggest difference between the two is that Restream actually has more locations that you can stream to. So if you're really into multicasting, and to me, this is the power in using these tools. Both Restream and StreamYard have similar functionality, but Restream is really taking the lead in multicasting. So if you want to take advantage of being able to simultaneously go to all of the places that your audience is, and maybe all of the places where your guest's audience is, then you want to use Restream. For example, if you want to go live onto Instagram at the same time that you're going live onto Facebook, Restream currently is the only platform where you can do that. It's the only one that I know of, and I really think that's it. Like, it is the only one at this point in time. All this stuff is changing and evolving, but at this moment in time, Restream is, for multicasting, it's the better tool. So I hope that helps. Let's see, what else we got here? Yeah, so at $179 a month, Repurpose House might be pricey for beginners. Okay, so there is another way that you can do this if you do this on your own. Like, if you don't want to hire this out, and first thing I'll say is, if you're producing a show and you want to monetize that show and you're really like, this is big this is the big part of how you are marketing your business. Like if you are attracting clients, and in the work that I do, in the people that I work with, this is the way. This is probably the most effective and fastest growing way for you to be bringing in lots of new leads to your business, no matter what that is. So if you have a business and you're in business and you can monetize this, this is a very effective way to do that. And $180 a month to outsource the labor of doing this repurpose work is a very modest marketing budget. So if you want to take your business seriously, it's a very modest thing. However, you can use a tool called SubTitle, and that's SubTitle with the letter Z in front of it, subtitle.com, and it will create for you the same kind of social media friendly post that that you saw on Repurpose House, and it's a do-it-yourself kind of thing. So you have to upload the video yourself, and you can create, a social media friendly post to all the different platforms that has the same kind of title above and the captions down below. You can make it look like the very same thing, and it's very modest. I think it costs around $20 a month to use their service, and you can make many, of these kinds of videos for that $20 a month. So it's a really good alternative if you're willing to do the work yourself. I highly recommend that this is something that you can outsource so that you can focus on things that you're actually much better at. And most of the people that I work with who are in business, they don't really want to do all this social media work. They want to actually do their work. And so if getting on camera and serving your audience in a meaningful way, if that feels like good work to you, then by all means do this. But when it comes to all this repurposing and posting and social media playing around, don't do that. It can be time consuming, and it can lead to a big burnout. And it's a great job for lots of other people because it's relatively simple to do. So that's my advice. And let's see what else we got here. Lewis is asking, what type of switching device do I use? Right now, this thing right here is the ATEM Mini. And it's actually a wonderful little tool. It costs $300, and it lets me switch between cameras. It does a whole bunch of other really cool stuff, and it just makes it really easy. It's just a push button device, and you plug it in, and man, it just works. So I really like this. If you want to do something with a good camera that's not $300, you can get a single camera and a capture card for, like, the capture card will cost you around $100 or so. And you can just plug your camera through HDMI into your laptop. And that's another way to use a good camera if you have a good camera already. I don't necessarily advocate going out and buying all this kind of gear if you don't already have it, although you could. I would start simple, get a good webcam maybe that only costs, $80 or $90. And that's really all you need. With a switching device, you can do more. And in fact, in this program that I'm just now launching as of next week, this is the kind of thing that we're going to go in a much deeper dive on. And this might be a really good segue. If you're doing a podcast and all this stuff that I'm talking about today, this sounds interesting to you, and you're wanting to go, okay, well, how do I really do all of this? I actually do want to get a better camera. I really do want to learn how to do a switcher device. I really do want to figure out all these things about taking my podcast into the world of video. How do you do live video in a way that's really engaging and in a way that will really not just attract your audience, but keep them watching all the way until the end? And not only that, but inspire them to take the action that they need to take so that they're going to get the result that they're looking for, and they're actually going to want to come and work with you. How do you do that through the medium of live video? And this is what my whole work is about. And starting next week, I'm offering this new program if you want to get a really big reach and grow your podcast to a bigger audience, this program is called Big Reach Live Video Mastermind. And let me just take a minute or two to show you what that is. I'm going to share my screen again. Here we go. Go to Chrome, and we go here. We share the screen. So Big Reach Live Video. So basically what's going to go on, and this starts next week, starting Wednesday. So it's basically a week from today is when this is starting. And so if you're interested, in increasing your audience, especially for your podcast or for any other kind of social media content marketing that you're doing, this is going to teach you how to do that really well and relatively rapidly. As I said, you're going to be able to produce a very professional looking live video stream, even if you're only using your laptop, and or you could use a phone and hook that up to your laptop. There's a few really simple things and tools that you may already have. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy expensive equipment. And so I'll be showing people how to do this. And I really believe that none of you need another online course for this kind of work. I think what's probably the best kind of thing is that for a small group of us to get together and to practice, like literally starting in the very first week, to create a live video, and every week do another one, and basically to get your live video series of episodes up and running during this very brief period of time that we'll be working together, and share those videos with the rest of the members of the mastermind so that we can all see what everybody's doing, and I can give you feedback and coaching, and every time you do it, you will get a little bit better and a little bit, sort of more settled into, okay, now I know how to use this medium. And of course, we can dive in really deep on, okay, so now that you've got this content, how do you leverage it so that you can repurpose it and get it out to more and more people, and then be creating this cycle where you've got this great engine of content that is driving people to your main event, the main event that you're creating. And so let's see, I'm just scrolling down the page. If you're interested in this program, just go to Big Reach Video. I'll just stick that over here in the comments. It's bigreachvideo.com right there. And that'll bring you to this page where you can get the description and read all about it. 8 weeks. So it's an 8-week experience that we're going to be together. Every week I'll have a live call, and in between the weeks you'll get access to some more technical video trainings that I'll have available for you, so that if there's one specific thing you need to learn, like how do you use Restream, any technical tool that you need to figure out, I'll have videos that'll show you how to do that. But when we get on a live call, there's going to be a private Facebook group where people can share any videos that they've created week after week. And we'll get on a call, we'll be able to look at those videos together, and I'll be able to comment and give you feedback and help you get just really good at this. And during this time, if you've been thinking about doing a podcast and you've been, it's always hard to get it off the ground, then this is a great way to just literally get it going. During this time, you will actually start doing your weekly show. And there's all kinds of things that we'll talk about in terms of strategy. How do you tell stories? How do you get people engaged with you? Like, this is going to be a live experience. So how do you do the sort of call and response that can be done in a really well done live stream? And of course, you'll get access to any of the trainings that are there. And, down here, I've got a example of like one video that you make can be basically repurposed into all these different channels. And if you're interested, I have a case study here. This is one of the clients that I've worked with, and she created a Facebook Live show that's been super successful. This young woman who has a membership site where she charges $25 a month is now making $35,000 per month from this site. And it all came from this live show that she did on Facebook and then was repurposed onto YouTube and on her email list. And basically what she does is she teaches speech therapists and she teaches curriculum to them. So she has a membership site where a speech therapist can join and pay $25 a month and get access to all of her trainings. And it's a really good solution for therapists who need new curriculum to teach in the classes that they're leading. And so Carrie started doing a Facebook Live show where every week she brought on a guest who was another therapist. And the two of them would teach one thing each week. And every guest had their own following with a whole bunch of other speech therapists that were following them on Facebook. And so every week, week after week, Carrie was getting in front of new audience. And within just a couple of months, she started getting like 3,000, 4,000 views on every single live video that she did. And then she would take that same video and put it over onto YouTube, and same thing. She would get 2,000, 3,000 views on every video that was on YouTube. And then she would take that and repurpose it onto her website and send it out to her email list. And this just kept growing and growing until now, as I say, she's got this very successful business. And literally she's become like, the most well-known talk show host for speech therapy in North America. Really, really great niche. And anyway, there's testimonials here, and this is where you can register. So check this out. And I just want to go back and see what other kind of questions I have. Let me come back here and stop the screen share. And we're back. All right. So okay, so let's see. KT Outside says, you answered my question. The course would work for those of us without podcast equipment. That is exactly right. But went straight to live content. Yes, it would totally work. In fact, for paddleboarding, man, that's just so cool. I just want to share with you that in a previous life, I was the director of an outdoor program that actually became part of Outward Bound. And this was a sailing program in the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, kindred spirit, man. It's so cool that you're doing paddleboarding. I wish that I was too. Look, I'm going to switch back over to this camera. There we are. All right. So, Kriya says, I am brand new to all of this. Yes, well, that's why we're doing it, right? Like we're all new to this. This stuff that we're doing these days is very new, and it's constantly evolving. It's one of the reasons that I love the work that I do, is because it's constantly evolving and it's constantly changing. And, it's exciting. It's very exciting. And I'm in a place where I'm willing to go out and learn the new stuff and bring it, to all of you guys and help you get out there. I mean, the mission that I'm on is, I really believe that there's tons and tons of people like you guys who have a message, and you have this talent, and you have this thing that's very valuable to share with the people who you want to serve. And here we are in this moment in time where we're all closed down. And so the opportunities for us to interact with our people is limited. And yet here we have these tools, and not very many people know how to use these tools particularly well. And certainly not very many people are using these tools very effectively. And so my mission is to help you get your message out, reach the people who you are really meant to serve in a very meaningful way, and to just help you get over whatever technical hump you need to get over, or technical hurdle so that you can do this. Like you can do this easily, comfortably, regularly, and really just take a quantum leap in the work that you're doing. Like literally all of a sudden be really genuinely serving all of the folks who are looking forward to being with you. So what else have we got here? It's now just after 5, so got new comments coming. So let me just jump down here. Interesting. I want to look over here. Cool. Tracy says, I've been wanting to do this for several years. COVID forced me out of my studio